wrestling, and welcome. This week we are going to talk about a whole lot of stuff. We haven't been around in a bit, so we are going to talk about wrestling and G1. We're going to talk about wrestling and Wembley. We're going to talk about FTR and just all the other stuff that we have seen or heard about in the industry. So welcome, guys. We're so glad that you're here. And another person I'm glad is here is Justin at In-Ring Art. Justin, my voice is not cracking anymore, right? We're having issues.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties, but it seems to be all ironed out now. John, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, except my internet did just go out, so hopefully that's not an issue tonight. We'll
Better not
see
be
about that. Yeah. Been any shows lately? You didn't go to PWG Mystery Vortex?
No, I didn't, regrettably. But that's fine. I'll get to another one at some point.
Yeah, it sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, it was on a Sunday night, the day before school started, and I could just see myself when they announced the main event being a 60-minute match, time limit match between Mike Bailey and Daniel Garcia, and me just looking down at my watch like, you know?
Yeah.
So, it wasn't, last year they had some amazing shows that were all the weekend before school started as well, or the day before, with like Hiromu coming into town and all that. It was just like at just horrible timing with school starting the next day, and that's when my work gets busier. So,
did Hiromu come do PWG? I know Shingo has.
No, I don't think Hiromu's ever done it, but yeah, Shingo's a former champ, I believe, and maybe at least he's won the Battle of LA before.
Yeah, God, Hiromu. Like, you bring that name up, and it kind of makes me sad. That's just such a guy who is, and I know we're jumping right into it, but that is such a guy who is just so stuck in that division, that junior division.
Yeah. I mean, but that's just, they're just compartmentalized there. I mean, that's what he is, and he's probably going to go down as the biggest junior ever in New Japan. So I guess it's not an awful spot to be in. And he's here in Philadelphia this weekend doing that junior showdown shit. That's
actually gonna be pretty good. Do you want to talk about that real quick?
Okay. I mean, I saw some of the card and it was like, I don't know if I.
Well, I haven't seen all of the card, and it's gonna be at the Philly arena. What's the arena called again? 203 or something?
2300 arena or some
2300.
Yeah. But I mean, it's
otherwise known as the
ECW
arena, and CZW arena,
something like that. They just added Enzo Amore to the card, and it's like, ugh. I mean, I was
some problem with. First of all, his name is not Enzo. His name is what? The Realist,
Real One, something like that. Like, look,
Real One.
I'll admit he was in his like heyday at NXT or whatever, even WWE. He was a guilty pleasure. Him and Cass were pretty entertaining.
I didn't even feel guilty. I liked him in NXT. Them against the Vaudevillains, and then
FTR.
Lena Bates, blue-haired,
blue
pants
blue
comes
pants,
out. That was great.
No, it was good stuff back then. But, he was never much in the ring, not to the point where you'd put him in a New Japan ring.
No, I mean, the worst. Well, he's saying that he's gonna be in the Tokyo Dome this year, so we'll see. His last appearance on a New Japan show was the embarrassing and awkward run-in at Madison Square Garden that him and Cass. You remember that?
Yeah, with God and stuff.
And it never turned into anything.
Well,
it was nothing.
It was a shoot, wasn't it?
I guess we'll never know.
I mean, he did show up at a Raw at Staples Center disguised.
I remember that. Was he escorted out?
Yeah. I mean, and also, he had that whole sexual assault or rape thing that obviously they didn't press charges, but that's when WWE released him.
Oh, the cruiserweight champ.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. He was probably the best cruiserweight champ there was. I don't mean wrestling-wise, but, you know, when I think of that belt, I think of him for some reason.
That purple belt. Do they still have that at all?
Fuck no.
I like that purple belt. It was kind of nice. And I remember when T.J. Perkins at the time won that Cruiserweight Classic.
That tournament was awesome.
We could do a whole,
like the best part of it.
We could do a whole episode on that tournament.
Kota Ibushi and Zack Sabre Jr. And all these guys.
Was Will Ospreay in it?
I don't think Will Ospreay. I think Zack and Kota were the ones, and then you had like who's that guy in the Hurt Business? I can't remember their names, but he was great too. Shit.
Cedric Alexander. Okay. Yeah,
Cedric Alexander.
And Grand Metalik and all that stuff. Just to
the guy from Dragon Gate, Yo-Yo Hoon or Yo-Yo, yeah, the Chinese or Hong Kong wrestler. He was in it too. Just
the fact that existed is almost like a Bizarro World thing when you fast forward this many years later, huh?
Yeah, yes and no. NXT then, yes, with AEW existing, it is Bizarro.
Yeah.
But like at that point in time, you know, NXT was actually like really trying to branch out and do these like cool tournaments. You know, they did the women's tournament. That's the first time I ever saw Rhea Ripley. Actually, was from their women's classic. It was the Mae Young Classic.
Right.
And they kind of those kind of tournaments that highlight non-WWE wrestlers, those have kind of been put to the wayside. So
yeah, there's too many indies to scoop those people up now. I mean, or just other, you know,
and
broadcasted
they did the British
entities.
Thing
yeah,
exactly. So I mean, it's just a different world. But yeah, it was crazy, and I think they offered either Zack or Kota or both. They offered them contracts, you know.
Yeah, they did. I think, I think they were both probably pretty close to signing at some point. At least Zack was, but then decided to go to Japan, I guess.
He made the right choice. I mean, now he's like become a legendary wrestler. I don't know if it'd be that way otherwise.
Yeah, who knows what they would do with him? And they would give him the Jack Gallagher umbrella or some shit. I don't know.
Oh, I feel like he'd be in AEW at this point, or back in Japan, like pretty quick. You see, I don't know though. Maybe he could be like the Ricochet. You just wait 6 years for your push, for your mid card push, you know, and then lose. So I don't know. It's a great question. All-Star Junior Festival USA at the 2300 Arena. We've got Goldie versus Vinny Pacifico. Do you know either of those wrestlers?
Nope.
So it's a kickoff match. It's not part of the tournament. So I'm not sure if either of those guys are Long Beach young boys. Oh, I just realized I'm going to Long Beach. Dude, I could go to the New Japan school.
That's in Carson, which is a little bit up the road.
Oh no, their first show was in Long Beach at the Walter Pyramid.
Right. You can walk by the Walter Pyramid at Long Beach State University, probably. I like Long Beach. That's a cool little city. You'll enjoy it.
I might go there and just like look at it and be like, if only I was here.
You go check out the Queen Mary and stuff like that.
What's that?
You don't know what the Queen Mary is? It's a like a ship.
Oh, I thought it was a person.
No.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Is there like a Navy base down there or anything?
I don't think so.
Is it like one of the biggest ports in America?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that
dock working.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for everyone that doesn't know, I'm going to California again in a couple weeks, and going to an anime festival also next week. So that's going to be fun. Maybe I'll meet some. There's usually some wrestling fans in those crowds, you know.
It's a similar demographic.
More AEW fans probably,
or
in the anime,
or New Japan probably.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's always fun though, and you know what? Someone will be dressed as a professional wrestler there because Zangief from Street Fighter, right?
Yeah. Or
that is a pro wrestler.
Or you might have somebody like dressed as someone from Stardom randomly or something like that.
I highly doubt that. I've always wanted to do a Japanese wrestling panel there, and I think it would be incredible. But they did not accept my panel this year. Although,
would you be the only one on the panel, or are you supposed to like?
I'd be the only one on the panel, but people show up to those panels, dude, because a lot of those guys are obsessed with Japanese culture.
Right.
So, but it's a lot of work to make the panel because you have to send them like a full, 10-page presentation, talking about you have to send them a full slideshow, all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of crazy. Hey, I apologize. I need to use the bathroom already real quick. I'll edit this out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so this junior festival, we start with Goldie versus Vinny. Now, the tournament itself starts with Francisco Akira versus Mike Bailey. That sounds good, right?
Sounds as good as you can get. That's awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We got Kevin Knight, who's working his way through New Japan. He was in the junior tournament this year, right?
Yes, and former, junior tag champ as well.
Oh, shit. Him and Clark Connors. Now, I do have a question for you. Why are Gabe Kidd and Alex Coughlin heavyweights and Clark Connors is a junior?
I would have to go with height. Clark Connors is not that tall.
Coughlin is that tall.
Coughlin is built like a brick shithouse, though. So, I mean, he's a heavyweight. And Gabe Kidd got a lot thicker, too. But I would have to say that Clark Connors is probably like 5'7".
Oh, shit. Alex Coughlin is way bigger than I thought he was.
Yeah. No,
he's 6 feet tall, dude.
Yeah, and I think Gabe Kidd is close to that, if not.
Okay. Like, Clark, I really thought that Coughlin was, like, short.
No.
He's as tall as I am, bro.
Yeah.
Gabe Kidd, same height.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah. So height. Going back to my answer for you.
Well, and height is almost more important to the junior division than weight. It honestly is. That's why someone like Hiromu will probably never be. I wouldn't be
surprised somebody like Kevin Knight is over 6 feet tall, though.
That's true, but he's thinner.
Yeah, right. So it's either you're tall or skinny. That's what gets you into the.
If you're tall and skinny, I feel like you're that's the best because you can do junior and then you can muscle up like Osprey, right? And then transition.
Right.
Or El Phantasmo.
Right. Or look at a guy like Alex Zane who can do either one.
Is he really tall?
Alex Zane is probably over 6 feet. Because if you see him standing next to like Murder Hawk Monster, he's like, he's not exactly being
tiny compared
towered to him. Over. Yeah. I mean, 6'1" is Alex Zane. Okay. And then who else were we saying? Oh, Kevin Knight. I'm curious because I think if he has a Wikipedia. There we go. He does.
Yeah, I'm not sure about his
He is, let's see if he's listed.
6 foot.
6 foot, yeah. I've seen him in person. He's 6 feet. He's every bit of 6 feet.
Yeah, I got to see some of these guys in person. TV never really tells you accurate.
Oh, yeah. And I'm horrible.
Especially in wrestling.
I'm horrible. I can usually tell when someone's is like short or tall or really tall, but like sometimes I'm not good with heights. But
You can tell with some people based off of the ropes, the ring ropes,
Right.
Like, we know Rey Mysterio is a pretty tiny guy, for sure.
Right, and Clark Connors, I can tell you, is not tall.
Okay, that makes sense.
5 foot. He's billed at 5'6". So there you go.
He's billed at 5'6".
Yeah.
Oh, he's short as. No disrespect to Clark. He's awesome. I like Clark.
No, he's fantastic. But
yeah, that's surprising to me. Okay. So the winner of Knight and Connors is going to go against the winner of Akira and Bailey. So yeah,
that sounds like fun.
Guessing Clark Connors versus Francisco. I don't know who will win between Akira and Bailey. That's interesting. I'm going to guess Connors and Akira because they are both full-time New Japan guys.
Well, I can see Bailey getting to Hiromu so he can have his title shot because he beat him in the best of the Super Juniors.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. After that, we got Rich Swann, Taguchi, DKC versus Jack Cartwheel, Enzo, Real One, and Starboy Charlie. So, yeah, I mean, look, this is an inoffensive six-man tag. Enzo will be... Is
it a six-man tag? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Starboy Charlie's pretty cool. I saw him at GCW. And Jack Cartwheel.
Cartwheel is great. So, you got Charlie and Cartwheel teaming up with Enzo. Hopefully he doesn't try to go into business for himself too much, and they just have a good match. He'll probably want to cut a promo, though.
And Jack Cartwheel seems like one of those guys that would be really, really good in, like, DDT or something.
You know where he's been wrestling a lot lately?
Where?
Mexico.
Oh, yeah?
That makes sense.
That makes sense, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like he used to be, like, a running back or something, because he's just thick.
I had heard that. I think he was in college only a couple years ago. He might still be. Shit.
That's true. Let me see. Jack Cartwheel.
Because you got to think with Jack Cartwheel, he was mainly wrestling in California only for a little while. Doing like West Coast Pro and
Jack Cartwright.
PWG. His name is Jack Cartwright?
Yeah.
He does cartwheels.
He was a running back on Chapman University. I'm looking at his profile right now.
Is that California?
Yeah, Chapman. It's like in Orange County somewhere. Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Three-sport athlete.
Definitely an athlete.
Three-sport athlete in football, wrestling, and gymnastics in high school. So there you go.
I would have guessed track, gymnastics, and football. But exactly. So, athletic guy, very early in his career, even though he's been doing it for years.
Yeah, I would guess he's saying he was a freshman in 2018 in college, so, he's 24, 23, something like that right now. So there you go.
Cool. I think that'll be fun. We want, of course, this is probably being billed as a pay-per-view, right? Which we've talked a million times about how we don't want to pay for pay-per-views that are substandard to the free shows you give us.
Yeah, we've had that discussion numerous times, but at the same time, I don't really feel like this is a New Japan show, to be honest with you, so I'm not mad at that not being available on New Japan World.
Okay. This sounds great. Matt Sydal and Yo versus Bushi and Shun Skywalker from Dragon Gate. So,
cool.
You've seen Shun Skywalker IRL before.
Yes.
And he's a good wrestler. I think that'll be cool. Bushi and Shun versus Sydal and Yo. It's kind of a very random mix of people. And it's a tag match. Okay, that'll be fun. I'm excited to see that.
Shun Skywalker, another tall guy, 6 feet. I knew he was pretty tall, seeing him in person.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I did not realize all this shit. Like, Shun Skywalker, he wrestles in Dragon Gate, so I thought he was like 5'3".
Well, you know what's cool? I like Shun Skywalker because he's a masked wrestler, and a lot of those guys can blend together. Let's be honest. Unless there's something really distinct about their mask, and he's got his ears sticking out. And that is how you can always tell it's Shun Skywalker.
I feel like Dragon Gate's a little different, though. I think all their masked wrestlers are very, very different from each other.
No, but I'm just saying, at times they can blend together. But he's instantly, you can tell who he is because he has his ear sticking out of his mask. That's a little thing, you know?
The thing for me is his, like, yes, that is different.
And he has, like,
got the, like, beads and streamers
right,
hanging from
right.
the mask.
The tassels almost. And he also has, like, kind of a slender, like, long torso, like a swimmer almost, too.
Yeah. Speaking of masks, did you see Drilistico's daughter with Pentagon's daughter?
I don't think so.
Let's see if I can find it real quick and show it to you. Pentagon Jr. and his daughter with Drilistico and his. If anyone's listening to this and you hear this and you haven't seen this, I'm saving it now. I highly recommend you guys look this up. This is just a really cool picture. So I'm gonna go into Discord. Whoops. Going into Discord now. I hope. Okay. And then let's see. I'll click on. How do I do this again, bro?
I don't know. I think you should just message it to me on Messenger. I don't know, dude. I don't really. Only time I go on Discord,
yeah,
is when we're on it together. I should go on it more. I have a lot of fun stuff on here that I don't go on.
Well, okay. I'll just explain the picture. It's Penta and Drilistico, and they've got their daughters behind them to the side, and their daughters are in full costume. Drilistico and Penta's daughter are in full costume of their dads, and they're squaring off too.
That's cool.
And the girls are both the exact same size, so it's really awesome. Drilistico's daughter's wearing kind of a bikini top with the mask, and Penta's daughter's wearing the full Penta bodysuit. So and has her tongue sticking out.
I might have seen that online somewhere. No, but.
I love that. They were saying what would their names be. Drilistica would be her name.
Terrific.
So maybe we got a few luchadors in our future.
Luchadores?
Maybe. That would be... No, I think luchadores is male and female. Luchadoras, maybe?
Doras. There you go. Like Doras the Explorer.
I still don't think that's right, though. I think it would still be luchadora for women.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay.
Pat King of Steak Philly Cheese Steak Cup 3-way ladder match. Did you get all that?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay, it's going to be Hiromu, Rocky Romero. Rocky Romero's actually been killing it lately in Mexico for like the last 6 months. I've seen a lot of his matches there. He's a great heel in Mexico, and he probably has some of the best matches on the card every time.
I have to say, just Rocky in general, underrated in-ring ability.
Fuck, underrated out-of-ring ability too, bro. He's like the fucking, basically like ghetto second-hand man for America.
No, I would say that he's, everyone kind of knows that, and he's responsible for a lot of guys, a lot of the Westerners getting in there and having, making a name for themselves. I mean, I would have to say everyone from like Will Ospreay to Chris Jericho all had to. Jericho was a little more pushed in with Don Callis, Kenny Omega,
Callis and Omega, yeah.
But somebody like Will Ospreay, I'm guessing Rocky, put in that position or helped put in that position.
Probably also one of the people that helped open the Forbidden Door because
absolutely.
Who was talking to Tony Khan? It was most likely Rocky Romero.
It was totally Rocky. He was also a guy that was, honestly, when they thought that the Young Bucks and Kenny, honestly, if they're not in the Tokyo Dome, Kenny doesn't perform in the Tokyo Dome this year if it's not for Rocky Romero. I don't know if that's like, I'm just guessing,
Well, I know that with many interviews that I've heard, like more than 3, it always it's like, how did you get into New Japan? And it's always like, well, Rocky sent me a text. Said, hey, you want to do this?
Yeah.
That happened with Eddie Kingston. You know that happened with a lot of those guys.
First of all, I'm going to go on a little side tangent about Eddie Kingston.
Well, we are going to talk about the G1 pretty soon here.
Okay, but if you haven't watched, there's a little kind of vignette type of little 5-10 minute video on New Japan World of Eddie Kingston going to meet Kawada.
Oh, shit.
And it is outstanding.
It's amazing.
They like kind of take him by surprise, and they do a card ride over with Eddie, and they don't tell him where they're going, and he gets to go meet him, and he like kind of borderline tears up, and he gets to interview him. It's awesome. And I guess one of the parts is he goes, I get contacted that I'm going to do the G1, and then I call Rocky and I say, is this for real? So someone else must have reached out to him first, and then, you know, he went to Rocky and said, is this really happening? He's like, yeah. So I think Rocky is just the guy that you know, is the go-between and the liaison, if you will. I mean, I remember, I guess when Steve Corino was doing his gig there, when he was doing the color commentary before Callis, before he went to NXT, he was kind of that guy that Rocky is now. To a degree, I think he was kind of but I think Rocky has a little more. We don't know for sure. New Japan's very well.
He's been in New Japan for longer than.
Well, he's one of the. He was
anyone? From any American.
Well, he was at the original LA Dojo with
Samoa Joe and Bryan Danielson,
right, and TJP, among others. I mean, so he definitely has some time there, but I think he had a similar role to what Corino had, but he's probably taken it to another level that Steve Corino did. So he's definitely seen as the Western liaison at the very least, if not Booker. Yeah, he was clearly somebody booking Strong, the whole time. I think he was probably the head guy for Strong.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I mean, definitely, just you never really hear a bad thing about the guy, and he has a great, as far as wrestling goes, he's looked the same for about 15 years, physically, looks exactly the same. And, when I watched New Japan, I think he was in the first match I ever saw when he was when he was doing the Forever Hooligans gimmick with Alex Kozlov. So, I mean, Rocky's awesome. And, hey, the guy can actually wrestle, too, and he's pretty good at it.
Definitely.
Yeah, so the ladder match, I don't understand this because it's like 4-on-2.
Is there a cheesesteak?
It's a 6-person on the top of the match. Yeah, I don't.
They're
I'm not
pulling
sure,
down a
if
cheesesteak.
the cheese drips out, or what if it falls apart. We're gonna have to figure all that out. But it's gonna be. I don't know if it's. I'm guessing. I guess it's six people all for themselves, but they aligned it as 4 versus 2, which is wrong. We got Takahashi, Romero, Master Wato, the Best of the Super Junior winner. Blake Christian, Doki, and a guy named Lowrider.
Are you sure it's not like a 3-way tag team match?
I think it's every man for himself. But it says 3-way. So wait,
it is
Takahashi and Rocky versus Wato and Blake Christian versus Doki and Lowrider.
Hiromu and Rocky. That's an interesting random tag team in a way.
Yeah, I think so. This is New Japan. It's Japanese web development, which is about 10 years behind. So it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but okay.
It's just not. It's not. Yeah. Okay. The Lucky Dip tag match. What is Lucky Dip? What brand is that? Is that Japanese?
Is that like a chewing tobacco or something?
That's what I was thinking. Let's see. Lucky Dip. Lucky Dip. I can't find anything about... Okay, so I guess that's just what they're calling it. Lucky Dip Tag Team Match. Oh, they're calling it that because tag team partners are random.
Okay,
so these people will be random partners. We have Kosei Fujita, Ace Austin, Chris Bay, Kanemaru, Alex Shelley, TJP, Cheeseburger, and Robbie Eagles. So... might be a bit of a throwaway match. I hate to say it to those guys. 5-way match. Fugaz, Leo Rush, Dragon Kid, KC Navarro, Soberano Jr. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this card's losing me a little bit.
I think it sounds fun, dude.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fun.
It
but
is a junior festival. It's not a New Japan thing. I mean, you got Cheeseburger, you got Alex Shelley, you got a lot of Impact guys, but you got Soberano Jr. from Mexico. You got Dragon Kid from Japan. So I think it's interesting. The only thing that confuses me is when I look at the lineup that says that's the final match. Is just that.
So it's not a tournament.
Hiromu's not in the tournament.
Yeah. Okay, whatever.
Okay. Oh,
it's a festival, not a tournament.
Nick Wayne will be there too. So.
Okay.
Mao and El Desperado. Mao from DDT, El Desperado, Jordan. So we have AEW, we have New Japan, we have Dragon Gate, we have Impact, Indies, and yeah, Ring of Honor. I guess that don't count. So. We'll see, man. I'm sure this is one of those things, Justin, where you'll hear about it if it's good or bad. You know, someone will tell you, like, "Oh, you got to watch this," and then you'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, I would go if the means were right for sure. But we'll see. It's not like we've talked about it before. Is like when New Japan comes here, they've kind of deviated away from the offering that traditional New Japan experience, and that kind of is what. Yeah,
that's true.
It kind of doesn't feel authentic, like they tried to intentionally, which we all loved with that first show in Long Beach in 7 years ago. God, that was a long time ago, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, it was forever now.
Yeah, dang man, that's
2016, 2017,
something like that. Yeah, I think it was 2017. But
because my mom told me that if I didn't fuck up, she would buy me a ticket, but I fucked up, so I didn't get my ticket there. Otherwise, we could have met early, huh?
Perhaps unknowingly.
So I think this is wrestling news. Let's move on to this.
Should we just do the G1 right away, or should we?
No,
okay.
We will. We'll move on to that after this. But I want to talk to you about this because it is wrestling news. It has to do with Elon Musk and Twitter. Have you heard of? Or excuse me, there is nothing called Twitter, right?
Isn't it called X? I don't give a shit. I go on it and I still call it Twitter in my head. I don't know. Who cares?
We all do. So when we use X, all that stuff, he is removing blocking from X.
I just don't get on there to the point where I want to block people. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but could you imagine having, 80,000 followers?
Yeah.
And, you're blocked by a wrestler, right?
I don't think so.
I am.
How can I tell who I'm blocked by?
I don't. It's like it's like a wrestler that you just go to their page and you're like, wait, I'm blocked? It happens to me, man. I am blocked by Edge. I am blocked by the Young Bucks.
Whoa.
I'm also blocked by Chelsea Green. So
what? What have you said about them?
I don't even remember. Like, literally. I think the Young Bucks, I was like, yeah, I'm not super into being the elite. And then they blocked me.
Oh.
So
I never really put my opinion on Twitter with anything.
You obviously you do because you put it in podcasts and we post that on Twitter. Right?
Kenzo made some ice cream. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's not...
It's good, man.
Your boy?
Yeah. That's really good.
You
I don't. Yeah, I do, but I don't tweet or X my opinions or whatever it's called now. I don't put them in print or whatever. I don't put them in words on there.
You don't feel like you need to be heard like all the other fucking unself-aware people that feel like they're the main characters?
I don't feel like it accomplishes anything for my own personal agenda. I occasionally, maybe I'll put something out there. When I put my drawings out there, occasionally I have a comment, but it's usually
the name of the wrestler you drew.
Yeah, or like just some kind of statement about him or memory or whatever. But it's like, I guess, I don't know if it's like I don't feel strongly enough about saying it. I just don't feel like that the need or the craving to put it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain, but I'm just not that emotionally.
I know and I don't, because I am the type that
you do. I've seen your stuff, and I think most of the stuff you say is fine.
And
there's nothing.
It is hard treading that world. At least I say it is, because I care. You know, we have, like, for example, Henare, friend of the show, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Henare has a match that's not so great, since he's a friend of the show, I'm not going to go on Twitter and talk about that. I'll just say, oh, this match was okay, but and it's that kind of made me start thinking, like, we know Henare, and I'm not going to talk shit about him, but just because someone I don't know, it doesn't mean I'm going to talk shit about them now. And that's kind of, I try to be very positive. If I have something mean to say, I try to say it constructively. And I also have to think, like, for myself, I'm not a fucking wrestler, bro. I'm not in the business and stuff. So I don't know if our opinions are even that important in the first place, as far as telling them on Twitter. So I just try to be positive.
I feel like people put their opinions out, or they do stuff to get attention.
That's 100%, yeah.
And so I think what they say about a wrestler is you're supposed to take your own personality and turn it up to 100 or whatever. I think people on Twitter tend to take their own opinion and turn it up to 100.
Oh, for sure. But the people that do that the most, if you go and click through, you'll find they have like 2 followers, and
they're eggs or whatever their default profile.
Yeah, the other thing is, usually when people are abnormally rude on Twitter, I've found that there's usually some personal issues going on there that are unsolved.
Yeah, so, I would never get that. I mean, I shared with you the one little encounter I had on my Instagram with somebody that was.
Oh, I remember that.
Disparaging my art.
You need to stop being popular because your drawings aren't as good as other artists who are popular,
or that are good, or something, or that are talented. But I did get a little pissed off about it, but not to the point.
You were nice though. You were respectful, and he apologized. No,
I wanted to understand his stance. It wasn't an overtly racist. It was my art is subjective, right? But whatever.
It's not even. It's just not at all. I wouldn't even say that one single little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I put out the New Japan rap that made me a meme. I had one guy that said I was racist for putting that out.
Right.
And it's hard to reason with someone like that. I mean, I even sent him a picture of my girlfriend at the time, and he was like,
"Yeah, I mean, that was probably a mistake, because I mean, that's." But to me, it's that's where you hope that someone else on the internet will say, we'll have your back, but it doesn't always work out that way, right?
Hey, but I'll say being positive does help, because that is part of the reason my video did blow up, is because Kenny Omega jumped into a conversation I was having with someone, and I was being the nice guy. The other guy was being the dick, and Kenny was, looking up his own name on Twitter and found it, and boom, jumped in. You don't know shit about me. And I was like, I was the good guy then, so, if you guys are going to tell your opinion, be positive. If you're not going to be positive, be constructive at least. And that's my guide to people. So no, there's no more blocking. So all those wrestlers that have blocked you guys, go check out their shit again. Let's talk about the G1 Climax. What number are we at? Is it at 30?
33.
33. That's not a very great number. We gotta wait till 35.
Okay.
So, we'll jump straight into this in the sense that the winner was fucking Naito, baby! Woo!
Yeah, that's great. I'm a huge Naito guy. I mean, him and Hiromu were 2 of the big guys that really, actually, when I first was hearing about New Japan, the 2 guys that drew me in were Nakamura and Naito. So. It was cool to see him.
Naito's awesome. Except when he was not a heel, he kind of sucked at that point. But Naito, Los Ingobernables, he's become a standard bearer of New Japan, one of the most popular wrestlers. And Naito did it. I think having Naito win was good booking in the sense that, one, Naito gets to most likely win at Wrestle Kingdom again, which is awesome. Most likely. I mean, we don't know. But the second is that Naito wrestled like Naito. They really trusted him. They gave him the ball, and he ran with it. I mean, wouldn't you agree, or would you agree that he kicked ass in this tournament?
Absolutely. I mean, I think he had a few down points, but I mean, those last 3 matches, I mean, the guy was incredible. I mean, especially that Ospreay match, I saw moves and reversals that I had never seen before. And
he was evolving. You notice Naito was changing his shit up. He was doing, for this tournament, the story at the end there was like, he's using his knees, and like all his moves, he's like banging the dude onto his knee. So like he was doing that arm drag kind of, or flip kind of onto the back of his knee. You know what I'm talking about?
And I think he's the definition of like, saving his best. Because I mean, we had T-shirt Naito at Forbidden Door, right?
Shit.
I think that might be what preserves himself, is that he does take a night off sometimes, right? I mean, he's not balls to the wall every time. I know he's not in the best shape in the world. I know his knees are gone to a point.
There were points when he was like fucking struggling to get into the ring. Like you could just tell.
He's had some serious
points.
He was wrestling with goddamn double vision.
Oh yeah. And it's like he had double vision, and Kenny Omega was cross-eyed.
And well, Kenny had vertigo, I think.
Vertigo, yeah.
My uncle recently was dealing with double vision, had to have some surgery and some prism glasses to help him. But I mean, he was at the point where he had to look down when he was walking, and
God,
I couldn't.
It's that bad.
I mean, it's a huge ailment that he had to deal with, and
let alone performing at a top athletic level.
And I know from what we hear and what we've gathered, Naito, despite his kind of persona, is a huge company guy. Right? And there's been a lot of times where maybe he should have gotten the ball and he didn't, such as Wrestle Kingdom, the one where he won the G1 in 2017 and 2018 Wrestle Kingdom. I don't remember what number that was, 12 maybe? And he lost to Okada.
When he lost to Okada, that was the Chris Jericho and
Omega year
match. And then, later on, he finally won.
But he probably should have won that year.
Kenta when he
right.
He was attacked by Kenta when he was doing his roll call.
When he did the double belt thing. And that was maybe... Yeah, it seems like, if he wasn't such a company guy, he could have spoke up to those issues and said, hey, this is kind of bullshit and I should give me that moment, or, why am I losing to fucking Okada after that kind of thing. But he's a company guy, and I think he's being rewarded for it. And this has a lot of... I've heard it some other places, and this has a lot of parallels to Tanahashi in 2018 when he won the G1.
As in the older guy coming back.
Or it's just like, this is probably his last run if he gets that title, which we're kind of expecting in Wrestle Kingdom. It's probably his last run with the title, fair to say.
His last G1 win, I would guess. I don't know about last run with the title, but it's possible.
It's pretty fair to say. I think they were about the same age at the time. 41-ish, right?
I think Tanahashi was older than that, brother.
No. Tanahashi's like 46 now, so he was about 40. He was about 41 when he won that G1 in 2018.
Okay.
So wow. I think it's a swan song with the title for him.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Same age. They were the same age when the.
Okay. I was waiting for that follow up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Sorry,
and they're both
Sting wrestling. Sting is actually 86, and he's still wrestling. It's fucking wild, dude.
Yeah. It's They should have him team with Nick Wayne. It's like grandson and.
Or get
Grandpa.
the little girl from... Oh, wait, she's not little girl anymore from the Kenny Omega match.
Right.
No, I agree. I think this. I'm going to just do the broad scope thing here again. I decided this year I don't want to do the whole he got a B
Right. Hey, we can sum up every guy in a sentence and just kind of right.
I just wanted to take the broad strokes and talk about the best, and
right.
I think this G1 was good to like I'd say like 7.58. I think a lot of people have seen better, but also there was some booking stuff with the young guys where none of them got through, and I wonder if that was a mistake. I guess we'll find out.
I definitely think putting them all in the same block was kind of done intentionally.
It made for some great matches.
It made for some great matches, and I think it was done intentionally to be able to kind of put those guys on the back burner and have them destroy each other. I mean, they had a lot of draws in between them, so I think that was done intentionally.
But what worries me is you look at someone like Keith Tamiya, who's not a young guy. He is young, but he's not recently from Excursion. He's been in Noah for years. And this big match with him and Okada that we were supposed to see eventually, and he doesn't even make it out of the block. And it looks bad for Noah, too. I was shocked that Noah even let that happen. If my top guy went into a tournament and I found out he was just going to job out to a bunch of people, I'd be like, nah, we'd rather not.
Yeah, but I don't think New Japan was going to... I mean, you can see with the stuff that when New Japan does anything with AEW, who comes out usually and all that. So I think, New Japan has done this in the past, right, with guys from other companies. But, I mean, Best of the Super Juniors, kind of the same thing. When they had... But isn't Noah
Bailey
themselves
did really good? I feel like Bailey did great in Best of
Bailey did. Yeah, but Bailey is not from another company in Japan.
He is. He's from in Japan, but he's from Impact.
I know, but I think that's different. I think the other Japanese companies, they're not going to treat. I mean, well, first of all, from what I hear, Kitamiya isn't exactly treated well by Noah.
And what do you mean by that? Specifics?
Like, they've had chance to, put him at the top, but they end up burying him too.
He's been champion multiple times.
Okay, but I don't know. What I've heard is Noah doesn't exactly treat him great either.
Huh.
But that could be completely misunderstood on my part. Who's to say? But
I mean, you'd figure he would be wrestling for a different company by this point. He's been there for years.
Yeah.
So that was a little odd to me, but when we talk about some of the best performers, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out Umino, Yota Tsuji, obviously Naito. I thought Tanahashi was great, and Henare. Henare that was awesome in this. This was his best tournament, I think.
Henare was great, and they put him in a block that was just perfect for him, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great stuff from him. A new look. Really, really great job. Maybe we'll have to talk to him about that soon. So yeah, who are the guys that stood out for you?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Eddie Kingston, like we talked about earlier.
Eddie Kingston. Yeah. And guess what? I've got that queued up right when we get off here. It's new NJPW Now number 518.
Yes.
So for anyone, I'm going to watch that right when we get off of here.
Yeah, Eddie Kingston was just someone that, like, how do you not root for the guy? And his backstage... I watched a lot of the backstage. I liked watching those. And he was fantastic in those. And, I also thought Henare stood out. He freaking almost died in the first match, and he had to gut it out. He was probably as hurt as anyone.
He told me that it was not as bad as it seemed.
Well, do you think he was going to tell you it was as bad as it seemed?
He said he's totally fine.
Okay. Well, then when he, gets whacked in at the next match, then
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll see if it happens 3 or 4 times.
He told you that after a couple strong zeros or whatever. But anyway, Of course, Shota Umino to me, out of those three Musketeers, Shota and Yota Tsuji are just a little bit ahead of Ren Narita. If not far ahead of Ren Narita. No offense to Ren, because I think he's...
That might be a little bit character wise.
Yeah.
We got two new characters that are really cool. One of them kind of being a Tanahashi-ish, but he's doing his own thing. And then we have a kind of a copycat character. Moves and even attitude. Everything just looking like, who am I? Who's the wrestler? I can't say. The wrestler. I'll just say the wrestler.
Yeah.
Shibata.
They have two dynamic personalities, and they're a very good blend when you put the three of them together. They're all completely different from each other. And then you also got a guy who's not back yet, is Uemura, who I think will fit in as well with those three.
So I went and watched a bunch of Impact matches with Uemura in them, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Recent matches. This guy he looks like the ultimate babyface right now. So we'll see how but he's got to be coming back soon. I'm maybe Wrestle Kingdom, somewhere around there.
New Beginning, or we'll see.
Yeah.
Somewhere after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, he's doing great in Impact, actually. So
good.
This is not like Master Wato, where a lot of people are watching him in Mexico and being like, he's just not panning out in Mexico. It's like, no, Uemura is kicking ass right now. And,
was that the impression of him in Mexico? I don't remember hearing.
Yeah, that was. And then I watched a bunch of matches of him in Mexico, and I was just like, dude, this is not gonna go well. It took him coming back to Japan and working for a few years to get back to normal. For some reason, I don't know why that is. Tsuji though, and the other guys are just, they're finding their way right away, and especially I gotta say, Yota Tsuji is so next level to me.
Anytime,
like, off the charts.
They could just put your teeth on a T-shirt, and it's that recognizable. Yeah, they got that new Gene Blast shirt, which is his nickname is hilarious. But look up, Gene Blast shirt, and you'll see it. He's got the smile in the Los Ingobernables kind of silhouette. I'm probably going to get it at some point. But
it's an iconic smile. He smiles. He smiles whenever he's getting his ass kicked too, which is awesome.
He's got this creepy smile, and it's great.
Yeah, it's kind of that John Elway smile, and it's even better than that. And he uses it as part of his character. Whoever saw that and was like, "You got $1 million smile, dude. You need to use that as your psychology." Great idea, by the way.
And he's got the perfect kind of facial hair to complement it. I mean, the guy's look is nailed down pretty well. And then Umino is kind of the handsome guy, but he's got a fiery devil side to him.
And I think that's what's going to separate him from Uemura, who is just this smiling, everyone loves you type of babyface. Again,
they're being put in that, the slow cooker. For now, and I think that's fine, and I think that was the proper story to tell for now. I don't think I'm ever going to say no to seeing Naito and Okada. I can't be mad at that.
Well, yes and no. I mean, there are times when you need to rocket ship someone young, and they did that with someone in New Japan, and his name's Okada, and we've seen results from that. So,
also. Kind of going back to Kinemia, I'm sorry, my ADHD undiagnosed self-diagnosed is kicking in.
I'll diagnose you.
Do you think this Kinemia thing was kind of an audition for New Japan to steal him?
No, I just don't see it. I mean, he's been in Noah forever. He was represented by Noah. He was a Noah wrestler in New Japan. He's already wrestled for New Japan a few times, and he's wrestled in Japan for years. So what audition would you need, except to watch his I mean, what is such a huge difference from a Noah crowd to a New Japan crowd? Is it the people he wrestles with?
Maybe they just want to see what he was like personally backstage and how to deal with what kind of person he was, and that kind of thing, like a character trial. I don't know.
It's possible, but what I've heard about anyone who's like the ace of a company, like we've all thought, like, oh, why doesn't the guy from All Japan? Oh, not
Jake Lee.
No. The best wrestler, Kento Miyahara.
Right.
Everyone's always like, why doesn't Kento Miyahara leave? And it's like, dude, if the top guy leaves those companies, it would be just devastating for those companies. It's these companies that already aren't that big, and then their very top guy leaves. I mean, and that's kind of like, so they're probably paying that guy more than anyone else.
A guy like Miyahara, I wonder how much money he makes. I mean, how much?
I wonder that stuff too, but I wonder like how much New Japan guys make, because honestly, like sometimes with the way sales go, like I can't see these guys making over 100,000 a year. But
yeah, I would say
make more.
I mean, I would say a guy like Naito probably makes high six figures.
Yes.
Or yeah, Okada probably high six figures.
The top guys, but of course, like Young Lion, fresh out, they're probably making,
Bushi.
My guess is minimum 100,000 a year. That's my guess is minimum.
Okay.
That would be my random guess. Guys in other companies and stuff like that, like Stardom and stuff, I'm guessing they are not, always crossing that boundary. So I've heard it said that like you start off in NXT at 100K, okay, right?
I've heard them making way less money. Less money. Oh yeah, I've heard the NXT guys make like 40, 50, 60 grand a year, and I think they pay the women more because of the cost of their like
cosmetics
and stuff like that. I heard that, I don't know if they like house you in NXT, but I heard they don't make very much money at all.
Here, we got the info here, okay?
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
And this is America. America has a lot of money, but Japan has a lot of money too. Those are both pretty rich countries. So, per the write-up, the average NXT salary is $80,000 per year. Most contracts are between $50,000 and $150,000. So I'm guessing your top guys, whoever, Wesley, or no, Braun Breaker. That dude's making $150,000 a year, right?
Right, but like, let's say when they signed Shotzi Blackheart, they said, "Here's 50 grand a year."
Yeah. If you're at that level and you're just like a hire right off of a tryout, yeah. And you know what? That's not that bad to train in wrestling all year. That's pretty fucking good, actually.
I guess not, and you have access to some pretty great facilities and teachers.
Although, Justin, as the socialist that I am a little bit, I mean, as the value that they provide to the company is probably worth like $1 million a year minimum. It would be my guess.
Well, it depends. Eventually, yeah.
I mean, even NXT guys. This company's setting record profits, but that's a whole other conversation.
Well, we're not having that conversation now. But
we will do wrestlings and labor one day, but not right now. So I mean, New Japan guys. It's just weird though, because like New Japan, the wrestlers don't have a habit of wearing diamond rings and gold necklaces and stuff. So. They have nice cars, though. Like, Ibushi spends a lot of money on clothes and cars, I believe.
Yeah. But I also feel like they must find other ways to get paid and do stuff.
I think they get a good cut of their merch compared to WWE.
Yeah. I mean, and if Ibushi... And a lot of those guys, when they come out here, I think they get a lot more. Well, the whole Fantastica-Mania thing is when the Mexican wrestlers go to Japan for Fantastica-Mania, it's allegedly their biggest payday of the year.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of money in America and Japan. There's less money in Mexico.
Right.
I mean, have you seen how much ticket prices are for Arena Mexico?
No.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, last time I checked, and this was pre-COVID, I'm pretty sure, like, front row seats are, like, $15.
Sweet.
And like the nosebleed seats are like fucking $3.
Right.
You know, I even asked Lucha Blog. I was like, "Are these numbers real?" He was like, "Yeah." So I mean, just big difference. Where New Japan tickets are quite expensive, I believe. Are they not?
They've started to go up recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I went to the G1 and where I sat, they were great seats. I think I've shown you the pictures. They were over $100.
Yeah, that's. You know, you think of that compared to $35 got me into the Galen Center to watch ROH. And I had a pretty good seat too.
And these were, this was at a pretty sold out. That stadium when I went was packed. Oda Ward was packed when I went. It was sold out. And I want to say it was night 4 of the G1, night 3, something like that. And 2019, it was like kind of on the decline of peak popularity, would you say? But it was still very popular.
Still popular, yeah.
And I think that the main event was Tanahashi and Kenta. And I think I paid about $100 American dollars to sit where
worth it, though.
And they were great seats. They were fantastic. So I wasn't on the floor, but I was a little on the riser just above, which you can actually see in the ring.
So I can go back there and see you? Are you on camera?
No, I think I was
near the camera.
I was on the side. I was like when I would sit down, straight down, facing. I was facing the ring, obviously, but I was kind of diagonal to the stages.
Okay.
So I think I was off camera. I have to look. But Kevin and Rocky were like straight down, but facing the ring away from me. So.
That sounds awesome. Now, what
I saw the side of them.
What wrestling shows can we see you on, Justin? Heat Wave?
No, you know what you will see me on, but you can't find them because they're not on YouTube anymore.
Juggalo Wrestling?
No, hell no. Well, almost worse at this point. But they don't have them on YouTube anymore. But we were gonna do an XPW episode this week, and it kind of fell through with all the big news and stuff. If you look at some of those old XPW shows, such as I want to say Damage Inc. and Rapture, something like that.
That's what they called them.
I'm in the front row wearing a Dan Marino jersey, so there you go.
Okay, we'll watch for that.
At least one of those shows, but
you're like Dave Meltzer at the Chi-Town Rumble. I don't know if you knew that, but like on the Chi-Town Rumble, Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair, like Meltzer's in the first row.
I've heard that. Yeah,
you watch it and he's like freaking the fuck out. You can tell he is a fan.
He didn't have his little notepad.
Nah, he was like freaking out, dude. He was just a fan there. He was like, "Oh shit," clapping and just going crazy and stuff. So, yeah. Speaking of all this New Japan business, by the way, Kadani, is that his name? Kadani is the president, right?
So we'll just Obari. Yes. Obari.
Oh, maybe there's a president and a CEO of like Bushu.
They got the guy that comes out there and hands the belts out and the trophies. He kind of looks like the guy that married Beetlejuice and Lydia.
Oh boy,
you know what I'm talking about?
That may be probably
Sudabayashi or whatever, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna say it's Kadani though. He was talking. One of their business guys.
Okay.
He was talking about why New Japan is not selling the same amount of tickets they sold pre-pandemic, and the pandemic affected things badly. We're not going to get into all that. We probably spent 20 hours talking about it, but I mean, we did a whole episode on it. But it's like, dude, things don't immediately go back to normal,
Well, especially in Japan. And I've actually noticed on a lot of those G1 shows that the people are starting not to wear their mask as much.
I've noticed that too. Actually,
a little faster than I thought. But I do think in Japan there's still a hesitancy to go out and spend money. And, you know, and let's be honest, like, Sonata is champion right now, and it's not the most...
No, he's getting his
attractive.
Turn. It's him getting his turn, not...
Yeah.
It's him getting his turn. It's not like a huge draw.
Yeah, there's not a lot of huge draws, really, in the company right now. Or a big rivalry at the top, like you had your Kenny and Okada, and you had the Bullet Club at its full... Bullet Club is, you know, rebuilding and going in a different direction right now, and is on the positive side. But
no, and it isn't. New Japan itself is in a rebuilding phase, just
like
your favorite team. When your favorite team wins a playoff, wins the championship, and 2 years later they can't win a fucking game, you know,
it's time to rebuild. Yeah,
it's like we're in a rebuilding phase for the next couple of years.
And honestly, I think there's a lot of great stuff on the horizon with New Japan, but it is going to be a little bit like this for the next 2 or 3 years.
Another thing also is that New Japan has been really hesitant to sign people. That has to do with Mercedes Moné. That's one of the reasons. They put a lot of money into her. Hopefully we see her more once she heals up. But it kind of sucks in a way because, you know, Aussie Open was picked up by AEW. And they've been hardcore New Japan guys, but New Japan could not commit to them. And, you know, if they couldn't commit, it is what it is.
Well, also, they need to develop domestic talent because, like you said, if those guys blow up there, they want to go back to the West and stay home. Or they want to, you know, like, I honestly think they're on the verge of losing a guy like Will Ospreay. I think he's gone, dude, next year. He's already on that Callis team from what I saw, right?
I've heard him say he would never live in America.
Right, but he doesn't have to live in America
That's true.
To be there 6 months a year and then go.
In fact, he could live in England.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Like Jay White, same thing. And Kenny Omega, same thing. I mean, I feel like if domestic talent if you know, foreign talent gets big there, they just want to go back home or go to the United States once they get big enough.
That's been a problem ever since New Japan blew up. Is the question, is New Japan a feeder system? And for Gaijin, it kind of is in a way.
Right.
Even someone
AJ Styles.
Yeah, even someone like Hikuleo, like a big guy like that. Like as he gets older and stuff, oh God, you know WWE's gonna hit him up.
Yeah, if they haven't already. I mean, he's already old enough. He's already 30-something or 30.
Yeah, he's kind of got a young face to him, to be honest, to me.
Yeah, Tama Tonga is another guy who seems like he's there for... it seems like he might be a safe bet to stay at this point. Yeah. But, I mean, I just feel like they feel... I don't know if they feel like they've been burned by foreign talent. Because I think they've always kind of seen it coming and knew.
It's business, though.
But,
if Tanahashi joined WWE, that'd be a whole different thing. But, Nakamura, though, that was bad for Ghetto, dude. I still heard the story of when they told him, like, hey, everyone's leaving, that Nakamura, AJ, and the Good Brothers, like, I remember Ghetto
I think Nakamura, I think, was an anomaly of a guy that left and won't come back.
Oh, I don't think he'll ever come back. I mean, he's been in the company for years and years. He gets to work every month. Actually, he's been on TV a lot lately. But
can I ask you a question? Has he been in WWE longer than he was in New Japan?
No, hell no.
It's got to be cutting it close now, right?
No, hang on, no. I think he was started in New Japan in the 2000s.
In like 2009 or 2008, right? And then he's been in WWE since like 2015, right?
Well, let's figure it out real quick. Maybe I'm totally wrong.
I think it's wrong. I think he probably was in New Japan longer. Yeah, but I think he's closer than you think.
He was in New Japan from 2002.
Oh, okay.
to 2016.
That's 14 years, yeah.
From 2016 to 2023.
Okay.
So, right?
You got a little ways to go then, yeah. But, yeah.
And he is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion ever, and that record will never be broken, most likely.
Because the title does not exist unless they revive it.
Hey, Honky Tonk Man's record's about to be broken.
By Gunther, huh?
Yeah, but you know what? That's good. That is a positive from WWE. Good on them.
Sure.
Do we need to do a wrestling and Honky Tonk Man?
Sure.
I'd rather talk about Jeff Jarrett than Honky Tonk Man, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you could do
they're
just on...
They're kind of the same, right? They both have the country music gimmick.
Yeah, you can do that. Like the Southern influence, right?
Yeah. One of the other things Kadani said about New Japan's popularity was he blamed, correctly in my opinion, he blamed AEW. He says AEW is part of the reason that we are not as popular.
Oh, absolutely. I think they've taken away a lot of that Western audience that became New Japan fans. Absolutely.
Yep.
No doubt.
Yep. So, props on him for recognizing that. And also partnering with AEW, you know, competition and partner. You have to know when it's right to partner and when it's right not to. I think that's... I don't know, but it seems like, you know, that's part of the reason they held back the Kenny versus Ospreay at Wembley. Because it's like, dude, we're not giving you that match.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty amazing that they're not doing another match at Wembley. To be honest.
Well, I don't think it's that amazing because, like I said, if you're New Japan, you're like, fuck that. That's Wrestle Kingdom. That's not Wembley. That's not for you.
Even though it's a bigger crowd.
It's a bigger crowd. It's one of the biggest wrestling shows of all time, but it's also an AEW show.
Yeah,
and,
true.
So yeah, so we've made a million different journeys to different topics, but going back to the G1, we both thought it was good. I thought the Yota versus Shota match was just a sign of the future for me. Did you see that one at all?
Yeah, that was to that point, it was probably my favorite match of the tournament, the draw.
Yeah, no, Yota versus Shota, I think Yota won. Yota Tsuji won.
Against Shota Umino? I thought they went to a draw.
I think Yota won in
you know what? That was the Ren Narita versus Shota, which was a good match too.
There were a lot of draws this year, actually, which was kind of cool.
So what did you think of the 20-minute time limit overall?
So it kind of forces matches to be high speed, kind of like in Stardom. Yeah. But, so it's like there's something about that. But at the same time, look, dude, if we're going to do a 20-minute match, all it means is that we're getting to the climax a little quicker, and we're going to cut out a lot of the first 6-7 minutes of just grappling. And I'm generally okay with that. And even Zack Sabre, who's the TV championship, like, he is the most technical guy, and he has some of the best quick matches.
What I liked about it was when it got down to the playoffs or whatever they were calling it, the quarterfinals and the semifinals.
Yeah.
It made those...
no time limit, though, right?
Right. It made those matches feel different and more important. So, like, when they talk about, like, the intensity of, like, playoff basketball or baseball, the playoffs just takes on a different feel, right?
Yeah.
It gave those matches the chance to feel that way, like they were do or die.
Yeah, and I agree.
Especially for the semifinals and the finals, those were some hot crowds that we hadn't seen in years.
Oh, hell yeah. No, like, that's something I wanted to say is, like, some of these shows had incredible crowds, especially near the end at Sumo Hall. Osaka was also amazing.
Yeah.
And Korakuen Hall. There were some real bad crowds, though, too.
Well, the beginning, Sapporo was bad, and kind of in the smaller stops, there wasn't very good crowds.
Yeah, there were some shows where, like, and I heard this years ago from Voices of Wrestling and stuff, it's like, you gotta support the wrestlers. Like I don't know what's going on there, but like guys, like wrestling is based off of crowd reaction.
Well,
I guess,
to me, if I'm New Japan and you keep going to these small towns and no one shows up and no one cheers, it's like you cross those motherfuckers off the list. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, they have such a routine of going to certain places, right? Like every year, if you live in whatever Kanagawa or whatever, you get to see them a couple times a year, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I know, I agree though. Like, but that's something AEW deals with too. Like 9 out of 10 shows have hot crowds, and then you'll get a random show where it's just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. What are you gonna
do? They have raw crowds. So yeah, it is. It is. You deal with the ups and downs, and you just do the best you can. So yeah, it was fun, and there is no briefcase challenge, so I'm not really sure why Naito is wrestling Cobb.
Oh, he's not channeling. He's not challenging for the spot at Wrestle Kingdom.
They got rid of that like last year or the year before. It was because of Okada came out and said, if you win the G1, it shouldn't be a question of whether you're going to Wrestle Kingdom. You should just go. And also, no one's ever lost the briefcase either, so it became redundant.
Yeah, Ibushi did.
Ibushi did?
Yeah, to Jay White.
Oh.
He still got put back in, but yeah, he lost it to Jay White.
And they had to do gymnastics to figure out a way
to
do a double dash. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I get that. So, good shit. Let's see, what else do I got here? Let's talk real quickly about FTR, Cash Wheeler. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the details of the incident, allegedly, where it was basically a road rage thing.
It's pretty simple.
Where he pulled a gun on someone.
Like he flashed a gun at somebody.
I heard that the victim, saw some guy swerving in and out of lanes, and he got over, and the guy, I don't know what it was, but I don't know what was going on there. From what I hear, FTR are good dudes, so it's a little disappointing that they would do stuff like that, or he would do stuff like that.
The top comment I thought was pretty hilarious. It says, "We need to stop looking up to men that get dropped on their heads all the time." So it was a bad choice from a guy that seems like a good guy. I mean, maybe he has a little violent streak. I mean, he beat the shit out of that dude that assaulted Bret Hart, but then maybe I would have done the same thing.
No, I think that in that instance, you don't know what that person that got in the ring has, and you need to make sure they're subdued as much as possible until, you know.
Remember that, though? Like, he was the dude that got all the shots in, though.
Yeah, I mean, you got to teach him.
Punched him in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
that was a weird situation.
I understand that situation. That's one of those things where you want to make sure someone like that does not do that again, right?
Yeah. It's not like you... Yeah. No, I agree. And you can beat a dude's ass if they are trespassing and disrupting. So that is actually legal, as long as you don't kill them.
Right.
So, yeah, I get that. It's just weird, man. It's real weird. Cash, who is like the Marty Jannetty of the group, even though he's better than Marty Jannetty. It's a shitty situation. And I don't want to play sides and be like, it's shitty for Cash. No, there's a victim here, and that could have traumatized them.
Yeah.
We will find out more. From what I know, as someone who's been through the legal system, is Cash actually has no criminal record at all, which is pretty damn good for someone in their 30s, you know?
I mean, yeah. And I understand they didn't take his passport away or anything, and it doesn't look like, unless something really crazy comes out in between now and then, that he's probably going over to Wembley.
I'm sure he is. He also got a very small bond at $2,500, which is nothing, especially for him. I mean, that's $250 to get out. So the judge, the prosecutor didn't even argue to raise the bond because the prosecutor agreed. So he'll get out easy on bond. He'll probably have court in like 3 or 4 months, and we'll see what's going on through the rest of the year. My opinion is that because of his lack of criminal record, this will probably get dropped to either a misdemeanor or something like menacing, is my guess.
Right.
I don't know about Florida, but I don't think they're going to charge a first-time criminal for aggravated assault for waving a gun.
Right.
He might lose his gun rights, though. I will tell you that. So
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. But I think hopefully it's just a one-time thing, and we can all move on after that.
What do you think about the systematic gun ownership in the United States and felons that are not able to get guns? Give us a breakdown on that.
I'm not a gun person. I don't own a gun. I've never shot or held a gun.
You never even shot one?
No.
That's kind of fun.
I think you'd have to hold one to shoot one.
I'm not a gun guy either. I actually, I tell my friend, I'm uncomfortable around guns.
Yeah, so I'm totally the wrong person to ask. I don't understand everyone's fascination with them.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, and I'm not. Doesn't mean that it's not. You can like them. That's fine. We have the right to own them, but I don't understand the fascination with firearms. So
yeah, I'm not a gun guy either. Ammo-sexual, as they are called. It's not really my thing, but that's okay. Maybe it would be if I can't legally own a gun. Never mind. So it don't matter if I like them or not. Okay, so that happened, and it's one of those things where we wish him the best, but also the victim, we hope that things are solved and that the truth comes out, and otherwise, I think this is going to be one of those let's not talk about it situations, right?
I mean, well, I'm sure Tony's getting the story and what happened.
No,
and
but
then,
I mean publicly.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's something that we'll probably all forget about in 2 months.
Yeah, kind of like Uso. It's kind of like Jimmy.
Yeah, right. Except for that was multiple times.
Well, was it though? Okay. Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So that happened. G1 notes. FTR. Edge wrestled his last WWE match tonight. He's finished.
Is he coming to AEW or is he going to be in?
That's the question.
Destruction Tour.
That's the question.
We'll see.
His contract is ended, and people are wondering, what do you think Edge's best choice is? I think he should just go act.
I heard he was good in Vikings, and he had that one detective show for a minute. I heard it was good.
No, he's in a new show now. Percy Jackson and the butthole whistle or whatever it's called. He's playing Ares in that.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, he's decent at that, but I think he should probably just re-sign with WWE, and they were using the whole Toronto thing as a ploy for ratings. Who knows?
We'll see, man.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm very interested because he's got a lot of friends in AEW.
Yeah, he does.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, too. We know now that going to AEW makes you more valuable to WWE.
Well, he definitely has leverage.
Yeah.
If he's looking for a few more bucks.
Let's keep an eye out for Wembley. We'll see what happens, because that would be sick. I don't know if Christian's going to be there. I don't know if Jungle Boy. Yeah. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about that real quick. Wembley Stadium. What's your opinion on the show, the card so far, and the build, and also the tickets sold?
Well, the tickets sold is pretty incredible. I'm not thoroughly excited about the card, to be honest. I feel like it's too soon to do the whole Adam Cole and MJF thing.
You think it's too soon?
Yeah, and I don't think
it's too soon, even if you have a show with 85,000 people.
Well, I don't know. I don't feel like that's a big enough match, to be honest.
What would have been your main event?
Probably Kenny Omega and Ospreay, or Kenny Omega and MJF, or something like that.
You would feature the UK Championship from New Japan as your main event?
I mean, that's what they basically did at Wrestle Kingdom.
That's a New Japan belt, though.
Yeah, that's fine. I would still want to see that match. I just feel like there's...
Of course, you and I want to see it, but...
I just don't feel like there's been enough going to make MJF and Adam Cole like the top of that card.
I gotta totally disagree with you.
Maybe 3 or 4 months later, yeah, but I don't know.
I disagree because look, they say strike while the iron's hot, and that angle is hot right now. I hear more people talk about that than the fucking Bloodline anymore.
Well, the Bloodline, I think we've all think is pretty much run its course. Yeah, they've milked that.
But even in Judgment Day, like I hear, like everyone is into this now. I say I hear. It's like, who the fuck am I? I don't talk to tons of people per day, and I hate when podcasters like, well, Twitter says. Right. So I can't say 100%.
At least they let Seth and Finn have a little better match this time before they put the bullshit in.
No, it's still bullshit. Did you see the one where he slid the Money in the Bank and it went under the legs to the opponent?
No, I mean I haven't watched a second of Raw.
It looks like straight up like you put piano music to it, like it's an old comedy. Like
Keystone Cops.
What is it? He
Benny
Punishment.
Hill.
What's Punishment Martinez's name again?
Damian Priest.
Damian Priest slides the Money in the Bank to Finn, but pushes it too hard, and it goes under his legs to Seth. Woo!
Oh, okay.
Break. So, all right. The first match we have here, I think this card sounds awesome. And in fact, I wouldn't care if the whole thing was 6-man tags in a way, because it's going to be the biggest wrestling show of all time, pretty much. And I think that's awesome.
Well,
it's a celebration of wrestling, right?
Yeah, I'm with that.
So, I mean, am I going to wake up at 11 noon to watch it? Maybe not.
Come on.
But I will watch it. So we start with Aussie Open versus MJF and Adam Cole. That's on the pre-show. What do you think is going to happen?
What titles do
ROH tag?
ROH tag. I mean, that's interesting.
They gotta win. What else? Why would be the point of them even?
Well, unless you set up a little miscommunication that builds heat for their title match. Or maybe MJF doesn't want to get in the ring and hurt himself, and so he defends his title later,
I don't think he's that character right now. He's total babyface, man.
Yeah, but this would be the time to bring it out, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, the main event would be when you want to bring it out.
What I'm saying is this day.
The first match.
Well, you want to plant some seeds.
Yeah, you do want to plant some seeds, although what I think is going to happen, it would not be planting seeds for that. But miscommunication between them, yeah, that could plant some seeds. It's just hard thinking that you'd want to watch two people that lost wrestling later in the show.
It's a storyline match, it's going to end up being.
Yeah, well, of course. But I think they're going to win it, and we'll see. Aussie Open's also... One of them is pretty young, and I think one of them has a while to go in AEW. Mark Davis and Kyle Fletcher, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mark Davis is the one with the huge ass, and Kyle Fletcher is the skinny guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have FTR against the Young Bucks.
That'll be great.
Yeah,
it'll be tag team match of the year candidate for sure when it's all said and done.
I don't know, bro. Well, yes, it will because we've seen the Young Bucks have match of the year before.
Yep.
FTR, and lately FTR's been on a fucking roll on Collision too. So this is awesome. I hope that the whole drama does not get in between the communication here.
It should be okay.
Well, it's like the FTR are Punk guys.
I think FTR they get along with everybody, I think.
Cool.
I don't think the match would be happening if it didn't.
Yeah, hopefully no one waves a gun in the match. Hikaru Shida, Toni Storm, Saraya, Britt Baker, 4-way Women's World Championship match. What do you got?
Probably Britt taking it back, or Hikaru Shida defending. I don't know. I don't the 4-way.
He's like, I don't care.
I mean, I just don't think the 4-way is just a little much. I think.
Saraya, dude.
You think it's her time?
No, I don't. But they're in England.
I mean, that'll be a nice little reception for her, for sure.
There's a lack of British talent on the show too.
Toni Storm is from Australia, right?
Yeah, and she's actually been doing press in England, just talking shit about the UK.
Oh, okay. Playing it up a little bit.
She's been doing press saying that like it has the worst medical system in the world and it just sucks. And
so what else? What else is on that card?
Darby Allin and Sting versus AR Fox and Swerve in a coffin match.
Well, that'll be cute.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And Sting is playing Joker Sting right now. Do you know who Joker Sting is?
Yeah, TNA. I haven't seen it in AEW, but yeah, the TNA persona thing.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched the entire history of Joker Sting in TNA, and God, Sting is so fucking talented, dude. Like he actually can act.
Yeah, it's just like that peak of wrestling in that Monday Night Wars era. He was just a silent person.
That's what I'm saying. But even now, that's his character.
Right,
he's
stoic,
pretty much silent and might say, but dude, like I watch him do his promos and stuff. I'm like, wow, he's better than fucking Cody Rhodes at this. So, I know it's a weird thing to say, but Cody Rhodes, every promo he's ever done, I'm like, dude, he obviously wrote this on paper and memorized it.
Yeah.
So, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, and Adam Page versus Takeshita, Juice Robinson, and Jay White.
That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
Be fun, but I'm gonna tell you, I've been thinking lately. I think Ibushi's AEW debut was one of the most disappointing things I've ever seen in wrestling.
Does he look a little bit out of shape to you?
No, it's not a little bit. Like, he's a lot. And this is obviously, now let's both admit this, he is in better shape now than you or I will ever be in, right?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
So
but this was a guy that had the body of a god 2 years ago.
He had the body of a god. He was one of the fastest, one of the best wrestlers. And he came out and it was just like, whoa, this ain't the Kota Ibushi I remember. He had gained some weight, which, again, he probably weighs he probably still has a tiny BMI, but he gained some weight and just the way he wrestled was not as good. Now, he claims he accidentally wore regular ass wrestling shoes and he stepped in tacks immediately.
Well, okay. Well, let's see. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and see what happens here.
Because that's not nonsensical or anything. Like, that's totally could have happened.
Yeah.
Did you see after the match he did a bump in the tacks?
I heard. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
So he's like, shit, I got to get used to this again. And guy has only wrestled once in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So, but when you're that good, maybe it's like riding a bike. I don't know. Okay, we got Eddie Kingston, Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, Lucha Brothers versus Blackpool Combat Club and 3 others to be announced.
I wonder who those 3 others are.
Stampede match.
Are we going to get Shota Umino on that team?
Ooh, there you go. That's a good idea. Shota. Well, we'll see.
Maybe they'll get all the 3 Musketeers. How about that?
That'd be too much.
I know, but yeah. We'll see. It sounds fun. Maybe a couple British guys.
Maybe Homicide.
Yeah, Homicide, Shota Umino.
Shota, and then who else is friends with Claudio and Wheeler?
Wait, isn't Homicide's more of an Eddie Kingston buddy? No, he is with
Moxley.
Moxley, okay.
So
El Desperado.
The thing is, though, Homicide I don't think is going to want to... Oh, that would be awesome. Desperado.
Yeah.
Oh. We'll see. They got to be fit because you're going to be running upstairs and Fucking slamming
Desperado
people
can
on the
handle that.
tables in the bar. Oh, Desperado could handle it for sure. So that's kind of an exciting little thing there. And the Stadium Stampede.
And Jun Kasai. There you go.
Oh, God, Jun Kasai. Oh, they could do it. I could see it. Fucking, Jun Kasai, Terry Funk.
El Desperado and Shota Umino. There you go.
So we're going El Desperado, Shota Umino, and Homicide? Is that
Jun
okay?
Kasai. I'm
going Homicide. You say Jun Kasai.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. I don't know how much of this is going to be a cinematic. I don't know. Mike, if I was them, I would do some stuff cinematic and some stuff live. Like, they go into a door and then all of a sudden their cinematic match.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho. I mean, Will Ospreay doesn't really have bad matches.
I'm excited to see.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to see how Will can work with Jericho. It's pretty exciting, actually.
Yeah, no, that's really exciting. Don Callis and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho said no to Don Callis, and it was kind of awkward. Don was like, "I got a picture," and it was a picture of him.
I saw that. That was
holding his head decapitated.
Yeah. Funny stuff.
And then randomly Will Ospreay. And I gotta tell you this, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but Wednesday on Dynamite, every single segment ended with someone running in and beating people up.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
They're getting noticed that, like, they gotta get off that same pattern.
Yeah.
Over.
For a while it was the blood, and now it's the run-ins, huh?
It's still the blood. But I feel like the run-ins were a problem on early AEW too, early Dynamite. Like, I remember thinking, like, really, another fucking beatdown? So, maybe that's just Tony Khan when he doesn't know what to do. He falls back to that, but I don't know. Okay, and then MJF versus Adam Cole. What do you think is going down on this? Because I have a whole conspiracy theory.
Somebody is the bad guy. There's no hug at the end, and MJF retains.
I think Adam Cole's turning on MJF, and I think Adam Cole is going to start the Kingdom again with Tavern and Bennett, and I think MJF is going to get fucked, making him, we're all going to love him even more, and I think Adam Cole's going to win the championship.
It's quite the doozy, man. Let's see. That'd be interesting, to say the least.
Or he's going to get fucked. Or Adam Cole's going to fuck him, and then MJF will win the championship. Because we've got All Out the next weekend, and of course you got to do Punk versus the champion, right? For the belt.
For the real belt, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Unless Punk has a problem with any of those guys.
Yeah, if he doesn't like the way one of them talks or something like that, then that will have to be nixed. Is it nixed or Nick?
Nixed.
Nick is when you steal something, right? I nicked that.
Nick would be like if you scratch yourself and you're bleeding. I nicked it.
No, but like I nicked I think in Britain, in England.
Oh, maybe.
Hey, before we go, have you heard of Nando's Chicken?
Yeah, I have, yeah.
What do you know about it?
It's probably like it's a chicken fast food place in the UK.
South Africa and the UK.
Okay.
I recommend anyone that's interested in that to go watch Nando's Chicken commercials. They're absolutely hilarious. They've been doing commercials since like 96 or something, and their South African commercials are very, very funny. Often touching on racial tensions and stuff like that, but never offensive and more just like very funny. So if you guys get anything from this show, it's go watch some Nando's Chicken advertisements, please. Cheeky.
Okay, cheeky Nando's.
Anything else you got for us, Justin? Anything you were waiting the whole show to tell the crowd?
I'm going to try and do a pop-up at the Wrestling Guy store on Sunday, but this show will be out by then, but we'll see if the hurricane force rain allows it.
You been having rain?
No, not yet, but there's a hurricane off the coast of Mexico, Hurricane Hillary.
That's what you say, but come on, bro.
And
We don't
apparently,
have hurricanes there.
I know, we haven't had anything like this since 1939. But the ocean's gotten a little warmer lately, and
It's
there's
El Nino. It's El Nino.
there's a Category 4 out there right now, and it's supposed to hit here around Sunday. So we'll see what happens.
But hopefully it disperses when it hits land.
I mean, it will disperse, but it will be like kind of a tropical storm by the time it gets here.
Oh, Hurricane Hillary could dump a year's worth of rain.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts, dude.
Gosh, we're dealing with the horrible fires in Hawaii. And
terrible.
Pretty soon. Hey, I'll tell you what, bro. If the hurricane fucks you up, I'll help you out.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but...
I don't either, but it's a thought that counts.
But I will help you out, so... Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening. I am at John Ensman. John on Twitter, X. This is at In-Ring Art Justin.
It is.
Yes, and we appreciate you guys listening so much. We'll be back soon. We're probably going to talk about Wembley Stadium next and whatever comes up in the news. So thank you guys so much for listening. Justin, you good?
I am good.
Cool. We will talk to y'all later.
Good night.